Hello folks, this is Steve A. for you. It's a little before my supper time. So, I published my video for the evening, midnight, and as I do, I often look at the Raleigh news online, Raleigh, WRAL. I'm not promoting anything, not recommending anything. You all know that I go and look at WRAL. I used to live close to them when I lived in Raleigh. And typically WFMY in Greensboro. But there are other Greensboro area TV stations, so I was a little bored and I was clicking around to different ones and found something about Asheboro. Asheboro is 4 miles that way. I go into Asheboro most days of the week, shopping, whatever. So the station is WXII 12. By the way, we're about to get, presumably on Wednesday, potentially quite a winter storm. Snow, sleet, ice alerts in North Carolina for the power company, Duke. They're worried about ice bringing down limbs. Oh, the power here flashed twice today. High winds. That means trees went down. So anyway, when I looked on this WXII, just to scroll down, is there anything? 2 injured in crash, vehicle found in embankment in Kernersville. No, the one I want is this one here. Vehicle overturned in Asheboro Creek. Did you know there were creeks that ran through Asheboro? Could be on the outskirts, right? I want to show you this one because it involved some bravery. Vehicle overturned in Asheboro Creek. Injuries reported. And I updated 6:27 p.m. February 16. That's today. So this update's about 6 hours ago. And this is clearly when it was getting dark. Now, what do we see? A railing, and part of the railing is missing. We see a tow truck, pretty hefty one, and it's hooked onto something down here. And we see a retainer wall and the opening to something that goes under the road. There's 2 culverts that go under the road. Actually, there's 3. I can see a grating to keep trees and branches from going through there. But they're clearly picking up a passenger is injured after vehicle overturned. This may be wrong. Maybe it was overturned in the creek, but it crashed into the creek. And then as I scroll down, on Sunday, that's today, officers said they were called to Salisbury and Elms Street for the incident. Salisbury and Elm? I go by Salisbury and Elm 5 or 6 times a week. The police department said an officer jumped into the creek to help an injured passenger. They said that the victim was partially inside the vehicle in higher than normal running water. Officers said the driver was able to get out of the vehicle. So there were 2 people in the vehicle that went into there. About 6 hours ago. It clearly is after dark. You can see the lights on here. There's this. Now that's a landmark. And there's the railing there. And there's something like this. That's the landmark. Bravo to the Asheboro policemen. Thank you to people who come out to help us when we get into trouble. So in Google search, Salisbury and Elm Street, Asheboro, North Carolina, and there's an immediate street view. Now, there's the creek. There's the creek. There's the intersection. This is Salisbury Street. I go down 64, and just as I get to the outskirts of Asheboro, I turn right onto Salisbury. Keep going, and then it goes down a hill, and at the bottom is, among others, Meadowbrook and Elm. And then it goes uphill. And we're talking about at the bottom, because that's where the creek would be. That's where the creek would be. Erosion over a few million years. So here's the street view. Can you see how you come down Salisbury, down the hill? It's not a steep hill. We see the lights, the controller for the lights, convenience store and gas station. There's Elm Street that goes uphill, and this is a steeper climb. At the top is Main Street, which is not the main street of, but I come this way to go to my doctor. And as a matter of fact, I made a video 2 winters ago. I was on my way to my doctor. I came down this way, and as I came down here, I lost my alternator. So I was running only on my battery. And I turned right and onto Elm Street, and I pulled in over there and let it be. The engine had stopped, and I continued on foot to my doctor's office. And after the appointment, I came back and I called road service, and they came down, they hooked me up. They came down from Randleman, they hooked me up, and they took me to Scott's Garage down here. So why am I telling you this? I know this intersection. I made a video at this intersection. Now let's look for that railing, and let's look for that retaining wall. There's a railing. We see a wooden fence. Uh-oh. 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 You see the stuff that's growing over here on the right side? That's down in the gully. The creek comes down the hill, goes under the road, crosses the road. Oh, wait a minute. There we are. So the tow truck is in the gas station or whatever it is, and the crane is over this fence, and here are the places where it goes under the road. And I pointed out that we could see that there was part of the fence missing. We can see that part of the fence is not there. It's not actually missing. It's that there's a fence here, there's a fence here, and there's an open area here. And the car, however it did it, had nothing to stop it from driving over the curb and down into there. So how did it happen? Who knows? I'm not going to make any comments. It's just that it would be easy to get down in there, right? The story doesn't mention anything about how it happened, and I think that would be because they were busy getting the people out of there, and the police hadn't had a chance to interview them yet. So, you know, I like to use Street View. You see a local news event. It's just happened 7 hours ago. It's a place I'm extremely familiar with. And as I said, during the winter, 2 years ago, on my way to my doctor, coming down the hill in this direction, I lost my alternator. The engine conked out. I was able to get around the corner and put the car. It doesn't want to go. What's the matter with it? See more dates. Well, today is 2025, so we'll say, what did it look like in 2023? Whoop, if you do that, excuse me. Let's try that again. I was able to pull in to here. Leave the car here. This was not a business that was open at that time. And then on foot, this is Main Street. See, that's Brookside. Go up the hill here, around the corner, in here, and this end of this building is my doctor's office. I'm just showing you that I know what I'm talking about. Okay? And that's what it looks like now. I hope the people that ended up in there are okay. I'll be following up to see what the story is about how they got in there. Clearly they didn't go over it from the gas station side. They did it from the Salisbury and Elm Street side. But how they got in there. Steve AB4L, hoping everybody's okay. And once again, thank you to the people who come out to help us when we get into trouble. And bravo to the police officer that went down there and got the person out of the car that was stuck in the water. Saying, see you in 73.